Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're here to discuss House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 2, Queen's Landing, and stacking it up against George R. R. Martin's Fire and Blood. We're diving straight into full spoiler territory. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, or there's just certain aspects of the source material you don't quite want to know, this is your official warning to dip out and come back at a later time. Now, the show did keep some iconic book moments intact, like Otto's brutal execution, or Lord Corlys's infamous line after the gullet, "If this be victory, I pray I never see another." But they also made some colossal tweaks that book readers need to talk about. Please do not forget to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more hot tea content like this. And if you want to know exactly what was changed from the page to the screen, this video is for you. So without further ado, let's get into it. Change number 1, Otto Hightower. The show took the liberty of taking us on a wild ride, a little bait and switch with the cliffhanger at the end of Season 2. Otto's fate was left ambiguous, as Ryan Condal showed a mysterious clip of Otto rotting in a mystery dungeon to leave the viewers speculating going into Season 3. Where was Otto's journey leading him to? Would he be rescued by Daeron and Tessarion? Did the Triarchy capture him when a deal went south? Was this the revenge of House Beesbury? None of these theories came true. The mystery was revealed that Larys Strong left the Blacks a parting gift. I would assume as an insurance policy to put him in good faith, good standing with Rhaenyra. Daemon finds him in the cells below the Red Keep and gifts him to Rhaenyra and says the hilarious line,
"The rats in the black cells have grown uncommon big."
In the show, Rhaenyra executes him herself. 2 gruesome swings at Dark Sister was everything Otto needed to be deleted. Now, House of the Dragon showed Rhaenyra not quite having the strength to proceed and needed Daemon to help motivate her. Handing her Dark Sister was his way of making the execution more seamless, as Valyrian steel would make the process much easier. In the book, Otto is a free member of the court and not imprisoned. In Fire and Blood, the Queen orders the execution and his death is handled by a standard executioner off-screen. A little quote from Fire and Blood. Sir Otto Hightower, who had served 3 kings as hands, was the first traitor to be beheaded. Ironrod followed him to the block, still insisting that, by law, a king's son must come before his daughter. Sir Tywin Lannister was given to the torturers instead, in hopes of recovering some of the crown's treasure. So the show had Tywin fall in the drink with his armor, so I'm guessing we won't get the whole Tywin being tortured arc. The series portrayed Ironrod as a monster by the whole essay scene. I thought it was such a weird move by the show and listed nowhere in the text. Like, why have the Master of Laws do this, of all people, to the king's mother? It was a cheap way for House of the Dragon to create a shock and awe moment. The one similarity the two had, Ironrod was petitioning for the grains in Aegon till his dying breath, like the little bitch he was. Change number 2, the Dragon Seeds. In this series, the Dragon Seeds, Ulf, Hugh, and Adam, were only seen in a few seconds of screen time in regards to the Battle of the Gullet, whereas Fire and Blood, they were a major player in the battle. Here's a little text excerpt. One ship took fire, and then another. Still, the men of the Free Cities fought on, until a shout rang out, and they looked up to see more winged shapes coming around the Dragonmonts and turning toward them. It is one thing to face a dragon, another to face 5. It was said that the dragons spit balls of fire during the battle, some blue and orange, red and gold, each brighter than the next. We never got to see these changes in flame color, and honestly, I don't think we will in the series. I mean, our only hope is the Blue Queen, Tessarion, with its blue or cobalt flames. But anyways, I digress. House of the Dragon made it seem like the Dragon Seeds only made an appearance at the tail end of the battle, spending a majority of that time at Harrenhal, awaiting Vhagar and then flying back to Dragonstone. It's a shame we couldn't see those three dragons in their full glory, roasting Triarchy foes. Change number 3, the Siege of King's Landing. In this series, the siege is laid out as a secret plot orchestrated by Alicent and Rhaenyra when they originally met in the dead of night at Dragonstone. Alicent instructs Sir Luther Largent and the Goldcloaks to stand down once Rhaenyra and the Blacks arrived at the Red Keep to avoid any bloodshed. This was slightly different from the books because in the text, it was made to seem like the Goldcloaks deflected merely out of loyalty to Daemon. Whereas in House of the Dragon, they made it look as if Luther needed a little nudge from Alicent to allow for the Queen to enter the gates untouched. In the text, Sir Gawain Hightower, second in command of the Goldcloaks, rushed to sound the alarm of the invasion before being stopped abruptly by Sir Luther Largent. Gawain called him a turncloak while Luther laughed at him and said, "Daemon gave us these cloaks, and they're gold no matter how you turn them." Then he drove his sword through Sir Gawain's belly and ordered the city gates opened to the men pouring off the sea snake ships. The show had other plans for Gawain Hightower, sending him off with Criston Cole to fight in the Battle of Rook's Rest and marching into the Riverlands. Another major difference in the show involved how the Valyrian fleet, still recovering from the Gauntlet. While the books, they were an integral part of the takeover. I mean, this actually makes more sense in the show. I don't believe the Valyrian fleet would have had enough time to recover after the Gauntlet. And the show did acknowledge Daemon and Luther's relationship, so they didn't stray too far from the source material. Luther told Rhaenyra, after briefly taking the throne room, "It was Prince Daemon himself who gave me this gold cloak 20 years ago. I knew I'd see you again one day." In Fire and Blood, it painted the siege as more of a strategic military strike than a secret plot by Alicent. This strategy was orchestrated by Rhaenyra and Daemon and involved waiting for Aemon to fly to Harrenhal, along with the fearsome beast Vhagar. The Blacks would then descend upon King's Landing with Caraxes, Syrax, and the Dragon Seeds, Ulf with Silverwing, Hugh with Vermithor, and Adam with Sea Smoke. The only difference with the arrival of the dragons was Sea Smoke, as he and Adam spent the episode searching for Corlys in the aftermath of the Gauntlet. The book was also different in a major way. Daemon wouldn't allow for the Queen to land on Syrax until it was absolutely certain that no harm would come her way. In the series, the two land on the dragons and enter Maegor's Holdfast to immediately see multiple green guards attack the duo. They are later ambushed by Sir Rickard Thorne and multiple Hightower guards in the throne room. One major change in Fire and Blood involves Sir Rickard Thorne, where he is tasked in taking Prince Maelor to safety in Old Town, but gets brutally attacked and killed at Bitter Bridge, along with the young prince. The show chose a different path for him. He seemingly betrays Alicent by alerting the council of her treachery, and later is taken to the dungeons by Sir Luther Largent. Change number 4, Rhaenyra's grief. One of the biggest changes to the source material involves Rhaenyra's grieving process following the death of Jace. In Fire and Blood, the death of Prince Jacaerys hardens the Queen and leaves her angry and ready to fight. She tells the Black Council that she will rain fire down on her enemies, either taking the Iron Throne or dying in the attempt. The show depicts her as being emotionally broken, spending many days in bed, barring the doors shut, until Daemon arrives back at Dragonstone to motivate her into taking the throne. Change number 5, Aemon and Harrenhal. Another major change of the series compared to the source material involves Aemon and Vhagar claiming Harrenhal. In the series, Alicent is the reason Aemon takes flight on Vhagar to Harrenhal by strategic manipulation. He then lays waste to Daemon's garrison outside the castle by torching them and then setting Harrenhal ablaze with Vhagar. Fire and Blood mentions nothing about using Vhagar to torch the place. It says that the castle gates were open with Prince Daemon and all his people gone. The text also states that Cole and his army arrived at Harrenhal a day before Aemond's. In the show, Cole sees Vhagar fly overhead his garrison, while making a comment that they will march onward to Harrenhal. Fire and Blood made it clear that Aemon arriving at Harrenhal was a direct result of Daemon strategically tricking Aemon into believing that they were still at the castle, so that they would easily be able to descend upon King's Landing and lay siege to the capital. One thing the series did with the castle at Harrenhal that was almost a carbon copy of the text was the handling of Sir Simon Strong. In Fire and Blood, Aemon commanded that Sir Simon Strong be given a sword. Let the gods decide if you speak truly. If you are innocent, the warrior will give you the strength to defeat me. Okay, well the series didn't have Aemon feed Simon of Vhagar, but the duel was essentially the same. The show did have his sons present in the dining hall, with one of them stabbing Aemon in the back and wounding him severely. This was the show's way of introducing the prince to Alice Rivers, as he begged her to help him, and as he fell to his knees. In the book, Alice Rivers is introduced to Aemon in a much different way. The rest of the Strong family is put to the sword, all save Alice Rivers, who is instead presented to Prince Aemon as a prize to be taken to his bedchambers, despite her being a bastard of House Strong. Change number 6. Rhaena. In Fire and Blood, Sheepstealer's rider is not Rhaena, but instead Nettles. In the book, Nettles drinks with the other dragon seeds off in Hewitt Dragonstone, following the Battle of the Gullet, instead of fleeing on the dragon back to the Vale. One similarity the show and text had involved how both characters were visibly shaken by the death of Prince Jacaerys. Nettles does not beg Lady Jane Eyre for asylum following the Battle of the Gullet because Nettles didn't do anything wrong. She fought valiantly in the battle with a sheep stealer that actually obeyed her commands. I don't think I need to state the obvious, but in Fire and Blood, Nettles was definitely not responsible for Jace's death. That is every book change from episode 2. Let me know in the comments section if I missed anything. There were definitely a few changes that drove me crazy, like Rhaenyra's massive grief-stricken arc after Jace's death. It just didn't hit right for me. I understand the narrative purpose. They needed Daemon to push her to execute Otto, and they wanted her taking the throne to feel like a grueling emotional payoff. I love the scene in a nutshell, just not the journey it took to get there. Plus, having the Dragon Sea show up to the Gullet, only to get like 5 seconds of screen time, like what is that? The fuck are we doing? Easily my biggest disappointment of the episode. Even if I did correctly predict their arrival. But on the flip side, the show actually did improve in a few areas. Like Aemon and Vhagar storming Harrenhal. Like what a show. Like just Vhagar roasting the place. The visuals of everything. It was just stunning. Like give me more of that. I also loved Rhaenyra and Daemon. The siege of King's Landing between those two. The shots of the dragons coming into King's Landing, that just freaking amazing. And then we have Daemon just being an absolute savage every second of screen time he had in this episode. Just slicing through the Green Garrison like they're fucking Swiss cheese. And they just look like a true team on a mission, you know? Despite the few book changes we had, I honestly believe this was one of the best Thrones or House of the Dragon episodes we've got to date. But, anyways, what did you think of the episode? Did they handle the auto execution right? What did you think about the dragon seeds? Was Rhaenyra's grief-stricken arc the right way to treat her character? But, yeah, just let me know in the comment section, man. I really, really want to know. But make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more House of the Dragon content like this. I will be covering Season 3 in detail. And until next time, y'all, peace.